It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
What do you mean it wasn't you?
I wasn't the only one that said the Acolyte was horrible. A lot of people are coming out in the articles saying the Acolyte is horrible. But the Acolyte does have a unique thing that it has accomplished since the trailer came out. So if you'll stick with me and we'll go through this article real quick, I'll let you know what that unique thing is. And I'll give you some of my feedback too. Let me pull this up for us and present. So it says, Acolyte continues the worst Star Wars series trend. Can you believe it? Disney just dropped the trailer for us, its newest Star Wars series, Acolyte, and surprise, it looks pretty good. Does it? Well, actually, it looks terrible, but that's not a reflection on the show's content as much as it's Lucasfilm continuing to produce content that looks dark, muddy, and cheap. From The Mandalorian to Ahsoka and everything in between, Star Wars on Disney Plus lacks the visual fidelity the franchise deserves. One of the most obvious reasons that a show like The Acolyte doesn't look as visually appealing as, say, The Last Jedi, whatever. Whether you like the movie or not, you have to admit that it was visually stunning. I don't think so. Is budget. Shows produced for television or streaming usually have a much smaller budget than their big screen counterparts. Obi-Wan Kenobi reportedly had a budget of $90 million spread across 6 episodes, a far cry from the $447 million that Disney spent making The Force Awakens. A smaller budget means corners are cut, resulting in subpar lighting, equipment, crew, etc. With a television streaming budget, you're going to get a product that reflects the low budget in every category, including visual fidelity. Now, obviously, picture quality is the least of Disney's worries when it comes to Star Wars, but a bad picture certainly doesn't help. I'll have to talk about this a second. Ultimately, the washed out, muddy look of shows like The Acolyte might not be a Star Wars problem, but rather a Disney Plus problem. A quick search for why Disney Plus content looks so bad brings up countless forums where members are complaining about the streamer's use of HDR. HDR, or high dynamic range, is a technique where the broadcast tells your TV which colors to display and at what brightness level, seemingly on the fly. While in theory this should result in a better picture, the result is often the opposite. That's because the quality of streaming content in general sucks. Streamers that promise UHD never deliver a true 4K picture, while a service like Disney Plus doesn't account for its viewers not having the proper top-of-the-line televisions when it decides to make HDR the default picture for all its content. Even worse, according to some Reddit threads on the subject, Disney Plus shows like The Mandalorian aren't even true HDR but SD, standard definition. Forced to replicate HDR, which results in darker, murkier pictures. So watch The Acolyte and enjoy it. The fights are supposed to be based on old kung fu movies, so they should be sick. I just don't expect it to look any better than the rest of the gloomy, washed out D+ shows. Disney Plus. And that's it. So what do you think about this? I think they're kind of on point because the first Mandalorian series the first season was excellent. They had everything popping. They decided to pull back on the budget, and you can tell in the second season of The Mandalorian and the third season, it's not as cinematic quality as the first season of The Mandalorian. They also did the same thing with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and to an extent Ahsoka. Ahsoka seemed to be a little bit better, but it seemed like the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, they did that. And to an extent, some of Andor. One thing I really hate about the murkiness of the picture is when they have dark shots and I can't see what's going on in the dark shots, and other people are like, oh yeah, that's great. And I'm like, well, my TV is just a standard middle of the line TV, smart TV, and I can't see what's going on, and it drives me insane. And I'm sitting there and I'm asking people, I'm like, what's going on? Usually when we have like a movie watch. So yeah, that's one thing. And so you're probably wondering what it was that the ACOLYTE trailer did that no other Disney trailer has done for Star Wars. And they got the most dislikes of any Star Wars series or movie that has come out since Disney took over Lucasfilm. So there were more dislikes than ever before and more than the likes on the trailer. And I thought that was kind of apropos, I guess. People have been telling Disney, the fans, what they want, what they think should happen, and Disney is not listening to us. Disney's not listening to the fans. They refuse to listen. They are going down their own little gilded path, and they think that they know best. And then when their movies come out, like Marvel's or the Star Wars movies, and people put up a fuss and it flops, then they blame the fans when it's them. They're not taking accountability of their actions. Their actions are not for the fans. And I don't understand how you can have a series, an IP like Star Wars, that you have such ravenous, loyal fans, and you want to destroy that. You want to do your own thing. You're going off on a certain tangent, and it's not Star Wars. It's your thing. So I'm super interested to see the ACOLYTE and see how Leslie Headland is going to take this series until she destroys it, and then I won't be interested anymore. But let's all take a step back and just see the first episode. Let's watch the first episode and see what it's like. And if it's horrible bantha poodoo, then we can all say, yeah, we were right, Disney. This is horrible junk, and you need to do something. You know, I just think Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy are on this road, and they will not get off of it no matter what happens. They are riding this burning ship all the way down to the bottom of the ocean. And it's just ridiculous. How can you do that? You're losing so much money. Anyway, if you like the video, please subscribe. And if you like this video, check out this video. May the Force be with you always.